As we're waiting for people to join, welcome, welcome. All right, as people are joining the presentation, I am going to go ahead and get started with the instructions. So welcome to the Illinois Association of College Admission Counseling Virtual College Exploration, which is targeted for all Illinois students. We are partnering with StriveScan, and we're so excited that you have signed up for this. I just wanted to kind of go over a few housekeeping things before we get to our main live show. First and foremost, in order to ask questions, you're going to go to the Q&A. And you'll type your question in there, and your presenters will answer those questions there. Just as a reminder, your camera and microphone are off, so you will not be able to speak or hear you. The panelists will not be able to do that. We would encourage you to sign up for more sessions. This is one of many different college presentations happening, and you can go to IACAC.org to sign up for that. This recording will be available in about a week, and so we would encourage you to come back and visit that recording, as well as to sign up for other sessions. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and introduce you to your current panelist.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is James Dewey Rosenfeld, and I am the Dean of Undergraduate Admission at Catholic University. So if you are viewing this recording a little bit later on or joining us today, I'd like to welcome you virtually to Washington, D.C. I hope that some of you at least have been able to experience Washington, D.C. previously, if that is either a visit to campus or just the fantastic city where we're located, and help you get to know a little bit more about what a great place this is. So what I'm going to do is, I'll take you through a little bit of the general information about Catholic University, go through our application process, and whether you have questions now or later, I am the first person who reads all applications for students from Illinois. So please feel free to email me directly. I can be found right on our website, on our Meet the Counselors page, and you'll be able to contact me with any questions or anything you would like to add to your application. So I am going to share my screen here. We'll start a bit of a presentation. Should just bear with me 1 minute. Okay. Here we go. So obviously Catholic University of America, located right in Washington, D.C. I moved to Washington, D.C. about 4.5 years ago, and it is, even before then, it was one of my favorite cities in the world. It is just so dynamic, so diverse. It is so easy to get around. It's a very manageable size city, despite the amount of excitement you can have here, the fun you can have here, whether you're on campus or off campus. And a little bit about our setting. A vast majority of our students are living on campus. 98% of our first-year students are living on campus. Every student who's not commuting is here on campus, which creates a fantastic atmosphere. And what is unique about our setting in Washington, D.C. is that we do have our own unique green large campus. Typically, I think when you're looking at some universities within a major city, it's a campus that's very integrated into the city itself. For us, we have a very classic campus experience. You can be a true residential student and still have that excitement of living in a place like Washington, D.C. We have a metro stop right on the corner of our campus. We're 3 stops from Capitol Hill. Excuse me. We are 6 stops from, downtown and the White House and Smithsonian museums. It's an incredibly easy place to get around. You can hop in an Uber with a couple of friends, and you're probably anywhere you want to be in DC within 20 minutes. So it's a fantastic place, whether you are on campus, getting downtown for fun, a fantastic art scene, fantastic restaurant scene. Smithsonian museums are free to all visitors, whether you're doing research or you have an internship in the city, very, very accessible. So it's a really nice addition to what you get in and out of the classroom on campus at Catholic as well. So a little bit about our student body, about 3,300 undergrad students. We do have some additional graduate students and law students as well. What you see there, obviously 80% of our students are Catholic, a very, very diverse community, students from all over the country, all over the world. And that's what's so critical about higher ed and when you go to college. That interaction with your peers, learning from people who are from different places, have different backgrounds. And that is every bit as important as what you learn in the classroom, because that's going to really help get you to your next steps, in terms of not only professionally, in terms of academics, if you're thinking about grad school, but also in terms of your interactions with other people as well. You're in Washington, D.C., one of the most international diverse cities on the planet, so students can really use that to their advantage quite a bit. Another thing that's unique about us, simply our academic options. We have 9 undergraduate schools to choose from, and some that are really unique for a school our size. Our Conway School of Nursing is very exciting because of really 2 reasons. We have a brand new building about to be, the construction is about to start for the School of Nursing. And that's going to actually be located right pretty much outside my window on campus. So they will have the absolute best facilities possible for our nursing students. They have 3 hospitals about a mile down the road from us. So a lot of our students will take part, in shadowing programs and sessions there in their practicums, starting in their junior year as well. Our School of Architecture, also very unique for a school our size. We're also one of only 2 colleges or universities in the US that has both a classic architecture and a modern architecture program for you to choose from. It also has an IPAL program, the Integrated Path to Architecture Licensure. So this is a program where students will actually get their undergraduate classes under their belt, internship and practical experience at the same time, and then they'll be able to go through that program and add a graduate degree in 6 years. The typical path through that is 12 years. So you're cutting that time in half, adding experiential, that practice under your belt, and being able to add both a bachelor's and a master's degree. And a School of Engineering. For a school our size to have a School of Engineering, and it's not part of a 3+2 program, it is a 4-year undergraduate program right on our campus, is something that is a huge advantage. Overall, you're talking about 79 undergraduate degrees, so an immense number of choices for students. So whether you know exactly what you want to major in, or if it's something you're coming in undecided, that's okay. You'll have plenty of options in terms of through the application process, through the admission process, and your decision process, leading up to into your sophomore year for you to declare a different major. You're going to have a lot of time to figure out, take some classes that you like, see what you're good at, see how you like to spend your time in the classroom, see which professors are really a good fit for you before you have to choose a major as well. So for our students, these types of academic options at such a small institution where you are going to have small classes, you're going to have faculty members in the classroom, things like that can't be underestimated in the process. So that's something that is very, very helpful. Another thing that's unique is our style of advising. And this started at the university 2 years ago. So through our Center for Academic and Career Success, you're actually going to have joint advising, both on the academic side within your major, and then an advisor who specializes in that particular major for career success. So when you're thinking about research opportunities or internship opportunities, you're going to have someone who's a specialist in that area working with you from day one. So you don't have to start thinking about and planning for internships or a job when you're a junior or a senior. You can start that as soon as you start a Catholic university. This is going to be someone who's going to help you throughout this process. They'll help you choose classes. They'll help you find research opportunities, internship opportunities, link you up with alumni in that particular field, whether they're local to our campus or local to your home. So it's something that they'll work with you hand in hand from day one to make sure that you're meeting not only all your academic goals, but your internship, research, and career goals as well. 3,000 internship opportunities every year. A vast majority of our students are completing 2 or more internships while they're a student. So some students will start internships that summer after their freshman year, going on up through their senior year. So it's a number of things. DC, the political capital of the United States, right? We have a number of students from all different majors who are interested in joining that with politics as well. That might be something they have an interest on the side. You could intern on Capitol Hill, in the White House, for another governmental organization, regardless of what your academic major is. So it's one of those exciting things when you combine the city of Washington, D.C., our academic options, what's offered outside the classroom. So it's something that can really help you grow quite a bit while you're here. A little bit about our honors program. So this is something that a student does not need to apply separately for. Every student who applies to Catholic University and is admitted will be reviewed for the university honors program. Typically about the top 12% of our students. So generally speaking, you're talking about students who have an A average, an extremely strong curriculum based on what's offered at their particular school. And so this will lead to an offer for the honors program. Last year, our university honors program was accompanied with a scholarship of $30,000 per year for your 4 undergraduate years. So you're talking smaller classes, a lot of interaction, a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, some international opportunities, a lot of great contact with faculty. So this is something that you can decide to do once you're invited into the program. Students are invited into the program coming into their freshman year based on the admission process, or students can apply to join the honors program after their first semester on campus as a first-year student. A little bit about education abroad, an extremely popular program. A little over 40% of our students will study abroad at some point in their university career. So obviously you can see there are 96 different programs on 6 continents. Almost anywhere students want to be, we have a program already. If there is a particular situation of something that you're really interested in, you want to find something that's a particularly good fit for your major, your academic program, you can meet with that office at any point. They can take you through the process of, do you want to go to an English-speaking country or an English-speaking program within a country that may speak a different language other than English as their national language. So it just depends on your level of interest, your level of comfort with different languages, and what you would like to study. We do have a Catholic University campus in Rome. So that is our flagship program where most of our students will study. That's the most popular, but a lot of other programs. London is extremely popular. Australia, Latin America is a very, very fast growing program. So, when you have 96 programs over 6 continents, there are a lot of choices for you. It's just a really matter of, thinking about what's a good fit for you personally, regionally, and then also academically as well. Any scholarships or financial aid that you receive as part of the initial admission process and financial aid process coming into Catholic University, you will maintain that level of financial support throughout your time while you're studying abroad as well. So it takes some of those financial questions out of the equation because you know a baseline of what you're going to pay. So I think that is really, really helpful for students. And you have a lot of options in terms of when you study as well. There are summer programs, year-long programs, 1-semester programs. There are some programs that are a particularly great fit for majors. For example, our nursing students. There's a fantastic program in Australia that is a perfect fit for that nursing curriculum. We also have summer programs in Dublin and in Rome for nursing students as well. So a lot of really great options for particular programs. All right, a bit about campus life. This is a huge part of your college experience, because obviously you're going to be, if you're thinking about Catholic University and you live in Illinois, you're traveling almost halfway across the country. You're going to be living on campus in our community. And, that is a big part of your decision. So for us, we have over 100 clubs and organizations that really run quite the gamut, from academic clubs and groups to political clubs and groups. Obviously, we're in an election year, so it's really exciting. I actually started at Catholic University in 2016, leading up to that election. And I was, as contentious as that election was, I was so pleasantly surprised at how much the campus Democrats and Republican groups on campus work together. They would bring speakers to campus to host debates on campus. So it was really interesting to see those groups work together just to keep people informed, make sure they knew what the topics were, make sure people were registered to vote, all those important aspects that regardless of what your party affiliation is, we want you to be informed. And that was really cool to see from students. There are more than 40 events on campus every week, and there's quite the range. Obviously this year it's a little bit different, right? Most of you are probably going through the process of maybe a hybrid learning environment, maybe completely virtual, maybe on campus, but a little bit different, social distancing with masks. So what we're doing on campus right now is we have our first-year students on campus, and then we have our new transfer students on campus. Everyone else is remote. However, a lot of our sophomores, juniors, and seniors have moved down to DC, so the neighborhood itself is really, really, energetic. You really got the sense towards the end of August when students were moving that back that there was that excitement about the start of the semester. So that was a good feeling to come back to campus. Campus ministry is probably our single largest organization in terms of involvement, and that's regardless of your religious affiliation. A lot of it is community involvement. For a place like Washington, D.C., there are a number of people that you can help, a number of organizations with which you can work. So it's just a matter of figuring out who you would like to work with, what type of experience you would like to have, how often you would like to participate. And campus ministry is really that gateway to helping folks in the Washington, D.C. area. All right, a bit about our athletics. Catholic University has a very long tradition of strong athletic programs. There are 25 different athletic programs to choose from within our Division III programs. Almost 30% of our students are varsity athletes. So that is obviously a big part of our student body, and it makes it really exciting. So whether you're coming to Catholic because you're playing on a team or you're cheering on friends or classmates who are on some of those teams, it creates a really great atmosphere. So for the fantastic fall weather that Washington, D.C. has, those football games are a ton of fun. And you're transitioning and you're thinking about all those fall sports, men's and women's soccer. You transition into the winter sports, into the spring. It's really unique because the athletes are also your roommates, your floor mates, your friends, your classmates. So you're rooting on people you really know well. And that's the difference at a smaller Division III school. If you're an athlete who's interested in playing at this level, the recruitment process, typically starts with the coaching staff. So if you haven't had contact yet and you're a senior or a junior, frankly, I would check out our website and start, getting in touch with our coaches. Let them know obviously what sport, what position, or what event, what types of times you have depending on the sport, and start that conversation. Because you want to start that process early as a varsity athlete to make sure that you're making the best fit choice for college in terms of academics, that social side, geography, and also athletics as well, because obviously that's a big decision. In addition to varsity athletics, we have 10 club sports, intramural leagues, and we have 2 fitness centers on campus. So there's no shortage of ways to stay involved. If you play a sport now, or if you want to get involved in one when you come to college, you can certainly do that at Catholic University. So a little bit about our application process. In terms of you see the timeline there. For us, we are exclusively a common application school. So this is something where you can apply right online. We do have a supplement that is unique to Catholic University, and I'll talk about that in a bit. We do have 2 different dates with different deadlines and application programs. So we have a November 1st deadline for both early action and early decision 1. Some things that you want to think about. Early action is a little bit more flexible. Typically I recommend for students who are thinking about early action, you're confident in grades through the end of your junior year, you're taking strong senior courses, and you feel good about your application prospects to Catholic University. If you're admitted to Catholic University early action, you don't have to decide to enroll until May 1st. Early Decision 1 is a binding program with that November 1st deadline. What that binding piece means is that if you're admitted to a school early decision, you're expected to attend that school next fall. So it just depends on where you are in your college search process in terms of timing, and then it also depends on where we are on your list. For your number 1 school, you can certainly think about an early decision application. We also have a January 15th deadline. So this is for regular decision and early decision 2. Regular decision, non-binding, you still have until May 1st to decide. Early decision 2 is just a later version of our early decision program. It is binding. You are expected to attend if admitted. And typically for students who maybe they're starting their college search a little bit later, they might want a little bit more time, or Catholic kind of, pops up on their radar a little bit later in the process. For regular decision, sometimes it's for students who want us to see their full first semester grades. Or again, kind of Catholic came upon them in the application process a little bit later. one thing I want to make sure all students know is there's no strategic advantage to when you apply. We will never fill our class early. We will never give away all of our scholarship money early. There's no advantage to getting into Catholic University if you apply early versus that January 15th deadline. It's important that you apply when you're ready, you feel comfortable, and you're ready to put your best foot forward in terms of the application process. For students who apply early action and early decision 1, we will get a decision back to you typically at the latest by mid-December. We're targeting early December this year to get you that decision. For early action, you'll get your admission decision, and if you're admitted, you'll also get your merit scholarship information as well. For early decision candidates, you'll get the admission decision, and for those students who are admitted, you'll get your merit scholarship and then your need-based financial aid information at the same time. That gives you as much time as possible with that information before you have to deposit. For regular decision students, January 15th deadline, you'll hear from us, typically probably the second week of March. And again, those regular decision students will receive their letter of admission if admitted, and then along with their merit scholarship offer. And those students will hear about need-based aid by the end of March. Early decision 2 candidates, January 15th deadline, you'll hear back from us February 15th with a decision. And for those students admitted, like the early program, you'll get your admission letter, you'll get your merit scholarship information, and you'll get your need-based financial aid information as well. So those dates up there, some of the deadlines, and some approximate dates. We're going to get you decisions on the early programs well before January 1st, and most likely, a week or so before that March 15th deadline as well. And then for early action and regular decision students, that May 1st enrollment deadline. So when we're reading your actual application, here are the most important things that we're taking a look at. One thing to note this year, for the last 5 years, Catholic University has been test optional. So it has been completely up to the student whether or not they submit test scores. This year, a lot of it having to do with the pandemic and our past research on our applicant pools and our admitted students and our enrolled students, is that we're test blind. So your test scores will not be evaluated in the admission decision, and they will not be evaluated for the scholarship process or the honors invitations as well. We're going to pay attention to what you do in the classroom on a daily basis in terms of your grades, in terms of the challenge in the classroom, as well as what you do outside the classroom, your level of involvement, your leadership. So we're looking to, we're looking to see what you do in and out of the classroom, and that's how we're going to base our decisions. So when we're looking at your application, we split applications up geographically. So every counselor in our office works with a different part of the US, and some of our counselors will work with international students as well. So, for me, I work with all students from Illinois, Wisconsin, some students from DC, and then some students from Virginia as well. So I try to get to know those schools as much as I possibly can. What's offered in the classroom, outside the classroom, get to know the counselors as well. So if I have questions, I can pick up the phone or I can send them an email and make sure I get everything clarified. So I try to get to know the students as much as I can through all these pieces of information that are included along with your application. On your transcript, that's probably the first thing we're going to take a look at. So we're going to look at the types of grades that you've received, and we'll actually recalculate your grades onto an unweighted 4.0 scale. So we're essentially giving you a Catholic University GPA. And we're also going to look at your GPA hand in hand with the strength of your curriculum. Have you challenged yourself in the classroom? And this all depends on what's offered at your particular school. We know that there might be some small private schools where you don't have a lot of options for honors or AP courses. We know that some students might have a full honors curriculum, 20 advanced placement courses to choose from. Might be some students who have a full IB diploma to choose from. So we're going to look to see what you've taken based on what's available at your particular school. Have you challenged yourself in areas of interest, in the areas where you're thinking about majoring in college? If you're thinking about engineering, math, science, STEM courses are going to be really important to us. At the same time, you're going to have a core curriculum in the liberal arts at Catholic University. So this is something that we are going to pay attention as well. We're going to look at all those core subject areas and make sure you're ready for those next steps. Generally speaking, our students are a mix of A's and B's in the application process, those students who are admitted. And I think, for students who are a B average and higher in a solid curriculum, you're going to be competitive in our process. So in addition to the transcript, that's kind of the numbers-based piece of the pie. Think about those, the counselor letter of recommendation, the teacher letter of recommendation. We require two. If you want to include more, please feel free, but don't feel that it's necessary. Reach out to the people who know you well, can add something unique to your application. Those are the letters that are really the most helpful. Think of it as us being able to have a quick conversation with someone who knows you well. We don't get the chance to meet each student individually throughout this process. So the more that we can get to know you, who you are as a person and a student, the better off you always are in the admission process. So those letters of recommendation. In the same vein, think about that common application essay. Common application essay this year they're using the same essay prompts as they have, in the last year for the application. And you can take those and run in a lot of different directions. So you can write about just about anything. I think the big thing is for us, what can we learn about you? What makes you tick? What was an important experience in your life? A lot of times we get essays about someone you admire, and that's okay, but make sure we learn about you in the process, and it's not just a mini biography on someone else. The more that I can learn about you personally and I can share with my colleagues, that's always going to fare well in the process. And then we have the Catholic University statement as well. So this is what I was talking about in terms of the supplemental statement. For us, this is optional, and it's essentially asking you, why is Catholic University a good fit for you, and what can you bring to our campus? If you have been to visit, that might shed some light on the things that you love about the university. The more you can be specific and particular about your fit or specific things that you want to get involved in at Catholic, the better that supplemental essay is going to be. If you haven't had the chance to visit, because of everything that's going on, that's okay. We completely understand that. So we have a lot of virtual sessions. I think we have 130 virtual sessions this fall between academic sessions, student life sessions, student support sessions that are going on every week on our, online every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So definitely hop on our website, check those links out because you'll be able to learn a lot more and get a little bit of information that can help you with the application and with that optional statement. A few notes on what we look for. Progression throughout high school. A lot of times we'll see students who started a little bit slowly with that transition to a high school level academics and just environment, but they've been on an upward trend since then. That's really important. That's helpful. We understand that. And also, when you think about the transition everyone had last spring to virtual learning, most schools didn't have a plan for that. And it was a really tough transition for the schools in terms of teachers, administration, and for students. Some schools had a pass-fail policy. We understand that. That is absolutely fine. We're going to take each school, each applicant on a case-by-case basis. Realize too that virtual learning isn't the best fit for every student, and that's okay too. We know that, maybe your grades may fluctuate a little bit. We understand that. We know the setting that, and the stress that you're under right now from last spring, and for many of you who it's extending to this fall. So please know that we understand that. We're going to be taking a look for that as we go through the process. Strength of curriculum, that sets you up for challenge in your college environment. Honors and AP courses, when some were available, you want to make sure it's an appropriate challenge. Challenge yourself in areas of interest, challenge yourself in those areas where you're going to be studying once you get to college. Activities, service, leadership. This is a big part of what we look for as well. With a smaller community on campus, 3,300 undergraduate students, we're looking to fill every club and every organization, have the most talented, diverse class possible coming in, for the students' benefit. So we look to see what types of things you're involved in, what leadership roles have you had, what service roles have you had. We're trying to forecast what you'll do while you're here in your 4 years. So we're looking to build not just students in the classroom, but a true community of students who are going to learn from each other as well. Interest in Catholic University, that really comes through in that optional statement, that supplemental statement. How well do you know the university? That can be helpful. Interviews are completely optional. What we do is we offer them on our Meet Our Staff page. Every one of our staff members has a calendar link, so you can set up some time to meet with the person who will actually read your application, and you can set that up just to ask some questions for an official interview, whatever you may need. So we do have a staff member who will work with, someone regardless of where they're from. And again, I'm the counselor who works with all students from Illinois, so you can feel free to hop on Calendly and set something up with me as well. All right, so before I get to merit awards, one last note I wanted to make is to make sure you know that we do not charge an application fee to submit your application to Catholic University. Just one of those, we wanted to remove that additional barrier in the process as well. So with merit awards, they will typically range from $17,000 to $30,000 a year. So that top level, that $30,000 is offered to our honors invitees. And I would say, again, how I mentioned earlier, a student who is a B average student, strong curriculum, they're going to be competitive in our process and probably will start out around that $17,000 figure. And you work your way up based on grades, based on curriculum, and then things like your leadership and involvement as well. The Archdiocesan Scholarship is a full tuition scholarship that's renewable for all 4 years. Very, very competitive, offered to 5 students every year. So that's based on your grades, on your curriculum, your activities and leadership. So it's typically, we're offering this to 5 of our very best students in the application pool every year. So it is no separate application. Students are nominated through their actual application process. The parish scholarship, you have to apply for the parish scholarship on your common application. Nothing much. There will be a question, would you like to be considered for the parish scholarship? Simply select yes, and with that, there'll be drop-down information. So you just add your local parish, Catholic parish information, the name of the parish, the name of your pastor, the address and the phone number, and then you'll be eligible for a $4,000 parish scholarship, which is added on top of any merit scholarship that admitted students may receive. There's also the legacy grant. So for applicants who have had a sibling, mom, dad, or grandparent graduate from Catholic University, you'll receive the legacy grant, and that's for $1,000 per year. All of these are renewable. The Catholic University Scholarship is renewable, so that's $17,000 to $30,000 per year of your 4-year education at Catholic University. In terms of need-based financial assistance, there are 2 forms that need to be submitted, both the FAFSA and the CSS profile form. They ask for slightly different information and details around your family income and background, and this will help us try to assess, in terms of on the federal side, and then, in terms of institutionally, what your family can afford to contribute towards your education and what we will contribute towards your education. So you'll have your merit scholarship. That'll be the first piece in, of the puzzle towards affordability, and merit scholarships are regardless of need. So that part of the process, the admission part of the process, completely need blind. For the need-based portion, that's where you'll see grants and loans that will come from the university or the federal government. They can help get you closer, to making it affordable for you to be here for 4 years. So you see the types of aid that are awarded. Need-based grants. This is money that does not need to be repaid. So you may see in your financial package, you'll have a merit scholarship, you have the parish scholarship, you may have need-based grants, loans, and work study. Grants, similar to scholarships, do not need to be repaid, but they're based on financial need. Student loans do need to be repaid, and the money can increase every year you're in college. Typically, very low interest, very favorable repay policies as well for students. And then work study. So this is an amount of money that is granted to a student where they can get a work study job on campus in virtually every office on campus. And this is money that they will give you an amount of money that you can earn per academic year. So the money can vary a little bit depending on financial need. So for our admitted student pool, 95% of our students receive financial assistance or scholarship, between those 2 sources, and $60 million is given out in grants and scholarships every year. We do try to make it as affordable as possible, and it is a very personal process. We ask for those 2 forms because it gives us the most information possible for us to make a really fair assessment of what the affordability factor is for your family. So next steps. My email address is right there. I'm the person who reads your applications. If you have questions, if you need anything, if you want to add anything to your application, please feel free to add me. Catholic.edu/interview. So this will take you to our Calendly links, and you can put something on my calendar. If nothing works with what's available on my calendar, just send me an email and we can set something up kind of offline. And then a great way to get to know the school our virtual tour, our social media, and also all of the virtual sessions we're having this fall. So, you know, we realize that the college search for current seniors is unlike anything you expected and unlike what people have had before. On the plus side, you have a great opportunity to get to know schools, you know, in your area, outside of your area, by hopping on a mobile device or a computer. You know, you'll be able to meet a lot of faculty, a lot of admission staff, a lot of students in ways that you wouldn't have been able to before. So in that way, take advantage of those opportunities to get to know schools as much as you can. And then we have our social media links right there. You know, I think the big thing for us, it's a very personal process. It's a very individual process. So I want to make sure that students know they can reach out to us at any point. If at this point, if there are any questions, I am happy to help. If there are not, Stephanie, I am thinking we might be all set. So hopefully that recording went well. And if students have questions in the future, they can always contact me.
Fantastic. If you wouldn't mind, stop sharing your screen. I'll start sharing my screen just to give them the final screen.
Okay, there we go.
Fantastic. And so thank you so much again for attending the Illinois Association of College Admission Counseling Virtual College Exploration. This is the wrong slide. And thank you so much for joining us. You will receive a quick survey after you attend this. We, again, would encourage you to sign up for more sessions at www.iacac.org. All of the sessions are recorded and will be available on our website at www.iacac.org. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.